Ready to open the hood? UseTool for the tutorials.
And for car parts, the right idea is the Mr. Auto app. Easy, fast, and with better prices than on the website.
In order to change the oil, you will have to purchase an oil filter, a pre-oil change cleaner, and an oil collector. You will find the recommended parts and products in the video description, as well as in the link, to know the type of oil and the amount needed. Turn your engine off, pull up the handbrake, pull on the bonnet release lever, and open the bonnet. Open the oil fill plug. This will increase the oil flow when performing an oil change. Before performing an oil change, we recommend adding a pre-oil change cleaner to the used oil. This will enable you to unclog your engine and get rid of any persistent residue to reduce your consumption of oil and fuel and to reduce the polluting emissions as part of a technical checkup. Before using it, start your vehicle for 5 minutes so that the oil is slightly warm. Then add the liquid and let your engine run idle for 10 to 15 minutes. Once the product has been added, you must not drive your car. Ensure that you change the oil immediately afterwards. In order to drain your vehicle, you must first lift the front of your car. This will enable you to access the drain nut. Raise the front of the vehicle and put it in the 2-axle stands. We strongly suggest watching the tutorial, raising your vehicle safely before carrying out this step. If the front plastic crankcase is present, you should now remove it to have full access to the drain nut. You can now see the drain nut. Using a 21mm spanner, release the drain nut and finish by hand. Be careful on the last few turns of the screw. The oil may suddenly squirt out. Anticipate this by placing a container underneath to collect the oil. You can learn how to make one by watching another of our videos, how to make a collector for liquids. Let the oil run out for 10 minutes or so. When you change the oil in your car, you should also replace the oil filter. In order to collect the oil it contains that may flow out when you remove it, place a liquid collector underneath. In order to access the oil filter, you must first pull out the air inlet duct. Pull on the right-hand bellows to extract the duct. Turn it up vertically, then pull it towards you. You should now be able to see the oil filter better. Using a ratchet, a cardan shaft, a large extension and a 27mm socket, unblock the oil filter flange by turning it counterclockwise until it moves freely. Finish off by hand. When it has been released, turn it upwards to avoid spilling any oil.
All parts used in this tutorial are supplied by our trusted partners. These partners also help us create as many video tutorials as possible. Check them out in the description below.
Separate the filter cartridge from the flange, levering it off with a flathead screwdriver. Using a thin screwdriver, take out the rubber O-ring, which is located on the flange washer. Clean the filter flange with brake cleaner fluid and a piece of tissue. Take the new filter. Replace the seal with a new one that is supplied with a new filter, ensuring you properly oil its surface. The new filter is equipped with a guiding marker that makes it possible to perfectly position the filter and ensure the best flow of oil. Be careful, it is very important to position the filter correctly. Screw the flange back on by hand until it touches. To tighten it, take a socket wrench, an extender and a 27mm socket. Careful, with this kind of oil filter, the new joint can be excessively thick, making the actual tightening process more complicated. As a result, you have to ensure that the flange washer is flat against the oil filter housing. For this step, you can also use a torque wrench that has been set to 25 Nm. Put the air inlet duct back in place. Replace the drain seal with a new one, then screw the drain nut back in. Start by hand. Then finish off using a wrench without being overzealous, of course. Now you have to put the oil back into the engine. You have to be very careful and precise when doing this part of the job. Firstly, put the crankcase back in place. Then lower your car back to the ground and check the oil level. This is something that can only be done when the vehicle is flat. Now, add the oil into the engine. Begin by putting 90% of the suggested amount. This will leave you a large enough margin to adjust the level of oil appropriately. You can find the exact amount of oil suggested for your car in the description of the tutorial. Close the oil fill plug. Start the engine and let the car run for 30 seconds. This will fill the oil filter. Remove the oil gauge and wipe it down. Plunge it back into its sheath. Remove it again and check the oil level. The optimal level is near the maximum, but be careful never to go over it. Based on the level indicated on the gauge, readjust to obtain the optimum amount. Operation completed.
Hi, it's Theo from UseTool. I hope this video has helped you a lot in your car maintenance. We would be super grateful if you could spread the word so that we can produce even more tutorials. Simply give us a like, a comment, and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us boost the channel and help the whole community. Thanks a lot and have a great one.